Chris Brooks here with you on the Chris Brooks. That's right, that's a new logo down there. The Chris Brooks Gridiron Show. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Today is going to be 10:30, just because I've had a lot going on this morning. And still happy to do this, though. Brought to you every day by Capital Ortho. That's capitalortho.com. By Soundcom, that's soundcomav.com. And Country Pleasing Sausage, Country Meat Packers in Florence, my good friends down there. Appreciate them being part of the show. The Rogue in Jackson with Luke Abney. Appreciate Luke, and I'll get into, man, you know, the funny thing is, I'm giving out those sponsors, and like I really have updates on all of them that I need to get to. From Capital to, I'm looking at a list of doctors here that half have worked on either me or my kids, to Luke hooking me up for my oldest son got married this summer. So yeah, that happened this summer. Connor got married. Congratulations to him and Emma, and everybody looked awesome. I might put a picture up a little bit later. And if you want to message the show, you can do that. It'll show up on the screen. I'm looking at it right now, and my eyes are getting old, so I may have to move this over here in just a little bit so I can see it a little easier. But if you got a message for the show, it'll show up right there. But from the wedding this summer to with Soundcom, I'm following Keith and his son Bryce. I want to bring Bryce on here one day. We'll do that a little later too. Playing, going from all Sun Belt punter at Southern Miss to playing on a professional mini tours down in Florida right now, playing golf. That's next level. That's a skill I don't know anything about, but he's doing it. Have to get him on here to update what all's going on with him. But and then with Keith and his kid, excuse me, not Keith, with Henry and his son Seth wrapped up his career at ULM. ERA in the low threes, 2-0. I've watched Seth play baseball since he was probably young, 8, 9 years old. And look, this is going to be a football update show, but that wants me to go down that road. A bunch of these baseball kids that have wrapped up their careers, from Seth to Brady Thomas getting drafted by I think it was the Astros from Jacksonville State, which, you know, my oldest plays there at Jacksonville State. My middle kid, Caleb's going to play at Mississippi Christian next year. And then my youngest, Cameron, going to play at Colin. So I'm watching these kids come through. And now I'm getting a little older. I'm watching them wrap up. From Brady to Bo Bryans from Madison Central getting drafted in, oh man, Bo, I can't remember what round. Was that the 5th or the 7th? And just happy to see those kids doing well, and sad at the same time seeing them wrap it up. But this is what I need to get into today. This is not going to be a long show. This is going to be brief. We're in the middle of knocking out all of this magazine stuff right now and trying to get ready for the football season. This is a message for coaches. If you have not filled out your information for the magazine yet, you need to do that today, preferably. And parents, I don't want to say bug these coaches, but at the same time, you know, I need that information. So coaches, the ones that have already sent stuff in, and there's a ton of you that have already done that. Thanks for doing that. It gives us our preseason rankings for the top 10 teams in the state overall. It gives me the top players. Of course, we'll put out rankings for every classification, all state teams for every classification, public and private. So players, same thing applies to you. I don't have a form to fill out for you guys, but the easy thing to do is just DM me on X. And if you're somebody that's flying under the radar, or somebody you think I might be able to help, DM me on X. I'll try to get to as many of those as I can. Also, with my sound today, if there's any issues, shoot me a message, or those of you listening that know me, shoot me a text. Hopefully this is going to go okay. But continue to send in that information. Coaches, fill out that form that's on my Facebook page and on my X profile at MS Gridiron if you haven't seen it. But we're knocking out the top 10 teams in the state right now. I don't know who that's going to be. Good chance we could have Tupelo would be a third year in a row that they start the year preseason Number one, if we go that direction. Gulfport's your defending 7A state champ, so maybe there's a chance that they're up there. Starkville's going to be really good. Brandon has a chance to be good again. Madison Central, Oak Grove, a lot of the same teams that we've been following the last several years. Um, but we're pouring over that information now. The digital magazine will be out. Look, believe it or not, we're looking at probably 2 weeks here. High school practice starts, I believe, Monday or Tuesday for the academies, and then the following Monday for all of the public schools. So we are still roughly 4 weeks away from the public school games kicking off, about 3 weeks and maybe some change from kicking off the academy games, but that's right around the corner. But make sure you're getting that information to us, and we'll get that stuff in there as best we can. We will have print magazines this year that will be delivered to the schools, and a bunch of them, the majority of, go out here in the metro area. So we'll have, I don't know a final count on it, somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 copies that'll go out, largely here in the metro area, but then also to the top schools around the state, especially the schools. If you're a preseason favorite in your classification, you'll get these either dropped off at your doorstep, or I'll deliver them personally in many of these cases. So we'll get those to you, but the digital version will be out early, just to make sure everybody has access to it while we're getting the season started. I'm trying to think of just any other house cleaning things that I need to knock out. And like I said, I wanted this to be real brief. Have players, and look, many of the players already have done that. I go through this month in the middle of the season when there's really not much time to do anything else other than put that magazine together. But I'm getting towards the end of it, so there's more time to be active on social media. Some players, a lot of players, have already sent me information, huddle video. A lot of parents will send that to me. The coaches, I probably already have well over 100 submissions from coaches, and we have roughly a little over 300 high school teams in the state. The publication this year is high school only, just because I can't wait for the colleges, transfer portal and everything that goes on in that. But we'll put out a different digital version of the junior college and college teams that'll be a little bit later on into August. But for the one we put out early, high school only, which allow us to focus on the MHSAA, the MAIS, and really the teams that I want to cover anyway. We will have website up and running. You'll probably see that stuff coming out next week on Monday, other than just the player form and the coaches form and those kinds of things. We'll be doing a little bit more statewide stuff in a sense. Last year we had a scoreboard show that came out 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock on Friday nights. We'll do that this year, but doing a Gridiron show every day at 10 in the morning, we'll be able to knock a lot of that out as we go. So we'll have that rolling to you every day here on AMP Mississippi, which is our podcast network. I'll have a couple other podcasts that we're also publishing through the season. I know we're doing one with Ole Miss, still working on one with State, and possibly a once a week kind of podcast for the junior colleges. Look, all of my kids attended junior colleges. Oldest went to Jones. My second and third went to Colin. And look, and I was a junior college kid. So those players are important to me and the coverage that we do. So we'll do our best to make sure that we're including them. I know we'll include them just because I enjoy going to those junior college games and know a lot of those administrative people and a lot of those coaches. So that'll definitely be something that we're focused on. And a once a week podcast is an easy way to do that. But just a quick checklist as we'll wrap up here. Coaches, if you haven't filled out your form for preseason information, which we partner with the Mississippi Association of Coaches, look, and the MHSAA and the MAIS, we've done that for now 15, 16, 17 years. Saw Les Triplett at the Y this week. He's wrapping up his career with the MAIS for the longest time. Congratulations for him. That's well earned. But a lot of these people have helped me a lot. from Les through the years, but Ricky Neves and Johnny Mims. Johnny's one of my good friends, the executive director of the Coaches Association. Same thing with Ricky. Very fortunate to have somebody like him running the high school athletics and activities association. And I don't just say that trying to brown nose here. I've had a chance to work around Ricky and, spend a year with the MHSAA and just first-class individual. So very thankful for all the help I get from them that even allows us to do this coverage, to do the magazine, to do the podcast, and to do all of it. But just keep an eye out for all of that. Fill out those forms. Players, if you haven't done this yet, make sure you send me your info. Submissions for, we'll have the top 50 players in the state overall, all state, all Gridiron teams for the whole state, and then all state teams for every classifications that'll be put out here in about 3 weeks. So make sure, if I don't know about you already, this is your chance to make sure I do. So give me that information. But for Capital Ortho, appreciate their involvement. They'll be all over everything I do this year. With SoundCom, same thing, all over everything. Country Pleasing Sausage and The Rogue, and a few other sponsors that we're about to bring on. Very grateful for them and everything that they do with us. Y'all have a good day. We'll talk to you in the morning, 10 o'clock. You guys have a great day.